If you are the wrestler who is never ready for their match when it's time to walk the aisle, I've got a 5-day formula that will fix that for you fast. I'm Mike Quackenbush, and this is Till We Make It. If you are as passionate about the craft of professional wrestling as I am, then you've landed in the exact right place, my friend. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and join the Till We Make It tribe. Subscribe down below. When I take suggestions for videos here on the channel, they most often come from my loyal patrons over on Patreon. Without their support, this channel, this work, it would not be possible. And this one comes from Alex, who told me that he never feels ready for his matches. And I used to do that before I started doing this. So I'm going to share with you my exact method for getting ready for a match. And it is a 5-day formula, starting with... So you've got a match on Friday night? We're going to start prepping on Monday by browsing your opponent's social media. And we're looking for highlights and clips and shorts and reels and things of that nature which might reveal to you 3 or 4 moves they do recurringly. Look for that pattern. I bet if you pay attention, their greatest hits will reveal themselves to you. And then go even a little bit deeper. When you're scrolling around during all the boring moments on Monday Night Raw, I want you to be looking for what spots they tend to revisit time and time again and how they connect to those 3 or 4 moves you just identified. I want you to take this information in now so it has time to marinate in your creative sauce, because I guess that's right, we're marinating. It's a sauce. It marinates in your creative sauce, but treat this like a first date. You're just getting to know them a little bit. You're not ready to put on the magic jammies and hop in the ring. Not just yet. Slow down, cowboy. Today, your research gets a little more scientific, and to do it, we're heading to YouTube. So up first, of course, you're going to leave a like-a-palooza on this video. Please and thank you. But after that, search up 2 to 3 of your opponent's most recent matches. You want to see current material or as current as you can find. Get those analytical goggles on, and what you're going to attempt to do is confirm as many of the patterns that you detected yesterday when you see the match in its complete context. When you watch it from end to end, are those actually your opponent's greatest hits? Are these the spots they rely on most dependably? And when you see that complete context laid out in front of you, today I want you to be able to identify what your opponent's strengths and weaknesses are. And we all have them as performers. We have things that we're good at, we have things we're still working on. That's true of you, me, and your opponent as well. If you can identify what their strengths and weaknesses are, you will be so much more prepared when Friday's match actually arrives. Now that the research is done and you've collected all that data, it's time to synthesize that data. From everything you've watched, whether it was short form or long form, have you identified what your opponent's in-ring value is? Those are things like size, strength, speed, technical skill, high-flying acrobatics, etc., etc. If so, I want you to use this as a framing device for the story of your match. So let's say that your opponent's value is their immense size and your in-ring value is your strength. Then we know the story of your match could be framed as one of size versus strength. Or perhaps your in-ring value is your technical skill, but your opponent brings the value of speed. Well, we know that overarching story then is going to be one of skill versus speed. Once you are able to frame the story of the match in those terms in your mind, populating the match later with appropriate spots will feel easy and natural. A quick word of caution about this. Because all of this work is being done in the absence of your opponent, right? It's work that you are doing on your own. There is a danger to this, and that danger is In the cyclone of a show day, you know things can change very rapidly. What if your opponent shows up, but they are injured? What if your opponent doesn't show up at all? Things can change, and they often do. And so I want to counsel you not to get your mind or heart too set on anything that you might invent during this preparation period. It's the day before your match, so let's do some basics. Is your bag packed? You're going to pack it before you go to bed. Is there meal prep that needs to be handled for tomorrow? Then handle it. Consider anything which will contribute to the smoothest exit possible as you are on your way to tomorrow's booking. When you strategically eliminate things which can leave you feeling frustrated or leave you feeling frazzled on the day of a show, you're paving a path for you to show up and bring calm and focus to the work. So make sure you hit the station and fuel up your car today. Make sure you've got the address to the venue loaded into your navigation app before you go to bed. The day is finally here. As soon as you finish introducing yourself to everyone and ensuring that the show space is ready for the event, I want you to get dressed, and I want you to fully gear up, including doing all the things we often procrastinate on because they take longer than we think they should. So lace up your boots, do your makeup, get all of that done and crossed off your to-do list so that you have more active brain space to focus on the task of calling and retaining your match. Before you sit down with your opponent to start working on the match, you're going to find the lineup, the run sheets, and you're going to read the entire card, everything that's there. And if for any reason the finish of your match isn't specified, you're going to seek out the decision maker and get that information first. All of that is critical context you need to do the work of putting your match together. You don't want to get halfway through the process and have to throw everything out because of some last-minute booking curveball that comes your way. When it's time to finally trade ideas, even if you've done all the research, synthesized the data, let it marinate in your sauce, and you've shown up with a few brilliant ideas, remember this: pro wrestling is a collaborative art form. It isn't for one person to dictate to the other exactly the way a match is going to go. In my opinion, you'll find this easiest if you start with the finish of the match that's been given to you by the booker and then design everything in reverse back to the beginning to support the finish you've been given. And after you've done all of this work, if you find that you still struggle to be able to remember your matches while you're performing live, click on the video that's appearing on screen right now. It is all about exactly that. I'll share my technique for remembering matches while I'm live in the ring with you over there.